Hello guys, girls, we are back yet with another Warhammer 40k breaky video. This is the second video of Darktide of his. As always, it is in the description. There was a little bit of fuck up before we start the video. I just finished recording, but I realized that I recorded part 3. So I already recorded it. I'll edit it later, but I'll now be recording part 2. And if you're wondering why am I doing everything so late, I explained it in the other video you will see in the future. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin.
Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, currently liberating the entirety of Atoma Prime by providing them with the newest ink cleaning technology, bar soap. So Darktide sponsored my last video, and that
Nurgle's biggest weakness.
That was really awesome of them. It's nice to be noticed by the hammers that make war. Darktide then said,
"You want to see me do it again?"
Today's video is also
Sponsored him
by
again.
Darktide. 4 players, Shouty, Sparkhead, Sa, and Slab come together for a fantastic Nurgle-based co-op experience of survival and death. Tons of missions, tons of weapons, tons of armor, and tons of faith await you in Tertium. Down in the description is the grimoire of Nurgle, and blessed be the number 7. So if you click it, you can then join in on this fun. Where my prior video was a discussion mainly on how to play the game, today I'd like to ask the question, how well does Darktide do Warhammer?
It does it basically 8 out of 10.
What I mean by this is, how well does the game adapt the source material into video game form? The Warhammer universe is an extremely unique and complicated one, and properly adapting it is difficult even at the best of times. Most of the factions in the universe take from modern day cultures or customs and then either give them a little spin on it or adapt it in some way. For example, the Necrons are a robotic Terminator vibe to begin with, and then they're blossomed up into an army of the undead mixed with a heavy Egyptian culture. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a combination of extreme steampunk mixed with like a monk culture, mixing aspects from like Tibetan monks with technophile extreme.
You need to add Tech Priest in Darktide as a class.
Very weird. The Craft World Elder take after a more feudal Japanese culture, Tau a bit more of a sci-fi version, Drukhari are pirates, Tyranids have like a Lovecraft and Xenomorph mixture, and Orcs are football fans. For humanity, it's a combination of a fascist Big Brother style regime mixed with this kind of like Catholic witch-seeking cult and a bit of retro sci-fi like you see in the movies like Alien, and of course a ton of Gothic. Luckily for Darktide, that's really the main thing they need to focus on, humanity. Because I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have to juggle all the other factions along.
But imagine if the game was so big that you could juggle this. It would be like, oh my god, it would be like too cool.
Them. But Warhammer games live and die on 4 major components: art direction, voice acting, music, and power.
Art direction, I'd say, is like 8 out of 10, like, is perfect. Voice acting is like S tier, like whatever. Music, the music producer, like the songs, the boss music slaps, builds the atmosphere. I'd say the music is also S tier. Power scaling, now this one, it feels like in Warhammer universe, you know, everyone is joking that how Imperial Guardsmen are like the frontline meat, basically. Well, in this game, you feel more of a like space marine, like, I don't know, it's weird. I feel like the half of the stuff you kill in this game should not be possible for a squad of 4 people, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Bricky is gonna prove me wrong.
In that order, most important.
So yeah, power scaling is like a 4 out of 10, maybe, for me.
To least. Let's start with art direction.
With this tool, I shall give birth to
right. In order to pull off the Imperium's aesthetic, everything needs to look like a massive factory and a church simultaneously. It needs to have skulls and parchment paper absolutely everywhere. For the most part, I'd say they pull this off with flying colors. Walking around the Morning Star shows this off.
Guys, and if you're wondering why, if atmosphere is so good, why didn't you give it 10 out of 10, guys? So reason is there's like these desert maps in here, and when enemies with the guns also wear like this desert camo, and I shit you not, like my vision is not the best. Like I have like a little bit of vision problems, and I can't see. And it's not fun to play the game where you can't see something, you know? And I think it would need a little bit of a judgment, but yeah.
Quite well. The entire place looks like you're on the inside of a monolithic church with the statues of Imperial heroes.
Biggest example I can give there was like this map in Dead by Daylight, when the night got released into a game, and the map was so fucking red, but when you play the killer, the scratch marks in that game are also fucking red, so you basically can see an Borgo, and basically I couldn't personally play on that map for like a year before they fixed it, and it's like same in Darktide.
Heroes and the architecture of things, like even just the windows. But within that church, it feels like a military station. Like a church itself is going to war, which is pretty accurate. The cable management here makes me want to dry heave. It just goes and goes and goes, circling around metal and steel in an infinite loop. And dangerously close to those cables are candles. And by the throne, there are so many candles. Now we mix those candles with parchment and purity seals, which we are just absolutely covered in. The purity seals are, by the way, those little wax seals and pieces of parchment you see everywhere.
They protect you from chaos.
They're inscribed with holy duties, prayers, scripture, all kinds of blessings that are supposed to resemble a lack of chaos taint or just duty to the god emperor. As you can tell, they kind of go ham with this stuff. Also, side note, the ship, it's called the Morning Star, which first harkens to the medieval weapon, right? The big Morning Star. But then you realize it's spelled Morning Star, as in mourning the dead.
Oh, that's clever.
Spaceships, the Morning Star. It's a pretty good ship name. Now, there's always a possible worry about lack of skulls. There needs to be enough skulls. This game does not have a lack of skulls. In Warhammer, AI is illegal. So all mechanisms require a human brain, normally lobotomized. And
guys, I think if I would be in Warhammer universe, I would be too dumb to even become like this AI thingy.
Reprogrammed in order to operate, among a few other things. This is why we have servo skulls flying around. They're little, you know, servant skulls. They're the classic line, like,
Hands. Are we the baddies?
Well, you should absolutely be thinking that the entire time playing the game, and I think they met their skull quota quite well. As for each of the classes, the Guardsman looks pretty right. I'd say you could maybe 40s them up a tiny bit more, maybe a few hanging baubles here and there, like a tiny little incense jar or an aquila here or there. But the Guardsman's a hard one, since depending on where you come from, their culture can vary substantially. So it really depends on what you're trying to go for. The Zealot is pretty on point. I really have no issues.
I think Zealots is like perfect.
That's kind of perfect. When I think of a Zealot, yeah, that's about right. The Psyker is good, but I wish the actual character could have a bit more mutations. You see the Navigator class?
You know, now that he brought my attention to it, I think, yeah, that would be cooler if it would be like a bit different.
The new Rogue Trader game, they're pretty mutated compared to the normal humans. The Psyker does have a few options, right? Like strange stuff you can do with their eyes, like pitch black. But I would have liked maybe just a bit more weird bits added to it to really spice up that creepy factor. Unsanctioned Psykers are sometimes like the fucking Exorcist girl. So adding a bit more would be pretty dope. Ogrins are nearly perfect. Like when I first started playing this game, I was gonna comment that the ones in the game were way too smart.
Ogrins are humans. What's that mean? Is it insult? Better not be insult.
But then they mentioned the Bone Edge ship they have.
I got metal machine, but I'm okay.
Which I have to commend, because I was totally okay with saying, yeah, they're way too smart for normal Ogrins, but video game, you want them to talk with the squad mates, like, I'm okay with that. But they literally thought of something. I didn't even have to use that excuse. Like, bravo. Because, yeah.
That kind of makes me think like the developers clearly like cared.
Ogrins are normally just
About their game.
complete infants. Like,
But it would be funny to play with infants, though, as
what? They
Ogrins in
actually
team.
thought of it with the bonehead ship. That's Finally, when it comes to Nurgle, I'd say it hits about 80% of the way. From gameplay purposes, it definitely is a bit too generic zombie at times, not to mention the amount of dude with guns they rely on, but we are definitely fighting a more Nurgle corrupted hive city, as opposed to fighting Nurgle's demons. So this is to be expected.
Yeah, I kind of would want if that they would put some demons of Nurgle in game, like the pox walkers, I think they're called.
But I think I could do with a bit more horror. That gigantic tree with the eyes and the horrifying faces are perfect. And the Beast of Nurgle is pretty disgusting too. I would have liked maybe some plague bearers as an enemy, or a plague drone instead of the plague ogre.
Wait, what the fuck is a pox walker?
That being said, I think Nurgle was the strongest choice for enemy in this kind of game. I'd kill for a Tzeentch or a Slaanesh style, but that would be really hard to do well. I don't know how you'd pull off a Tzeentch horde game. Or
I mean, it would be it. I think it's I think it's the same way as Nurgle. The only problem is Slaanesh would, let's be real, it would be like completely censored for well reasons, and Tzeentch is like, I don't know, just go Space Marine 2 route, I guess.
a Slaanesh horde game without getting a much more than M-rated game. Nurgle, for the most part, is pretty excellent. I do want a little bit more Nurgle demons and stuff, but I also need to temper my expectations because I want to see all the things.
Yeah,
as
me
far as art
too.
direction goes, this game might be the strongest. You have a solid case that Battlefleet Gothic 2 and Mechanicus might give it a run for its money, but it's a damn hard run. But it's not surprising, since like the success of Vermintide goes a long way, but it's still real treasure to see. Now, second on our list is voice acting.
Again, I said it, it's S tier. It's perfect.
Proper 40K voice acting is probably a combination of incredibly fun to do and terrible on the voice.
I am judgment!
It also forces you into the frightening realm of British accents.
Another set of
I
useless
guess.
bloody orders from some useless bloody carcass.
Like most of humanity has that British accent, since, you know, Games Workshop is a British company, and they have been a fan of that old hobby called colonization. Though there are a ton of accents for the most part, it's just British is the standard. As for the voice acting itself, fervor is the most important aspect. You need to say your lines with your chest. The ability to really sell that, yes, this person believes what they are saying is the needle point there. You know, when an actor becomes so large, you stop seeing the character they're playing and instead start seeing the actor only. Like, I had this issue with Leonardo DiCaprio. I can only ever see him as that. Warhammer has no room for that. You must become the character. You must see yourself in this bizarre world, and every line must be delivered with that pinpoint accuracy. For the veteran, I'd give them like a solid B+ here. Guardsmen are...
Yeah, I think out of like all four, I think I would rate Zealot is like the best one. Then I would say Psyker, then Ogryn, and I think like the guard veteran, unfortunately, is like the least.
A bit difficult since they're the everyman sometimes, so it's occasionally hard to do it properly and dissolve into that character. But I think this is as close as we're gonna get with the packs we have. The professional has a clean-cut accent.
If this is life in a hive city, I'll stick with the guard. Give my fragging right arm to see the golden throne. Just once. You lot wouldn't last a day in the guard. You know that?
Oh, stick it up your arse!
Nice chat. Nice fragging chat.
The loose cannon definitely adds a bit
Best
more comic
one.
relief.
It's mine.
Help me get even with our pilot, would you? Took me for everything, and now I have to... Oh, no, you don't need to know.
But the standout for me is the cutthroat from Cadia. He has that poisonous speech that comes from someone who's just really fucking pissed off all the goddamn time. And that is how I imagine Cadians probably feel right now.
The tech priest is creepy. She knows her stuff. If I start speaking in ones and zeros, put
got me down here! You wouldn't have lasted a day on Cadia.
Is that right? And, how's things working out for
Oh.
Cadia right now?
You shut your mouth! I'll say it for you!
I'm not scared. You'll come apart at the last moment. Just like Cadia.
The Zealot. Oh my
Damn.
god, the Zealots. Oh, they achieve a standout A++ extra credit. with
Nah,
their
that's
voice lines.
S.
They have absolutely nailed it.
If in doubt, kindred, place your faith in fire. The hotter, the better.
All 6 sound fantastic. And I love how they went with different types of piety for them. They range between all kinds of emotions. They had like dorky Bible study priests.
What unfathomable might hath the master of mankind, that he unites 1,000,000 worlds beneath his banner!
The holier than thou attitude, and of course, like the judge,
You cannot hide from judgment here!
who has the emperor's light in their lungs.
This is what I chose.
The VA work here is brilliant. No complaints. As for the Psyker, it can be a bit hit or miss. However, I wouldn't
Oh.
say the hit or miss comes from the performance, but rather the actual voice lines being said. The
Oh,
crazy,
really?
shrill loner lady and also the insane German Psyker say some heretical things.
The Emperor survives on human flesh and human blood. His Imperium likewise.
What is Indomitus Crusade?
'Tis a glorious attempt by Lord Guliman to unite the Master's realm across the scar of chaos.
Okay.
Lengths some will go to in order to earn a
Bro.
Honest to God, Emperor, they would have been just gone significantly sooner.
You know that now that you said it, I agree. Sadly, worship me or die. Yeah, they would just be gone.
It's like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Psyker, you know, the Carrion Emperor, and then... What? But some do mix that hybrid of terrifyingly scary and funny at the same time. They don't have outright poltergeist, which is too bad, despite understanding why they wouldn't, but it's too bad. I would have loved that. Though I think the standout here might actually be the one that constantly talks about the Emperor as his beloved.
I think it's the funniest one for Psyker.
About you. I can teach you my secret language if you like. It has 15 vowels. Oh, I do enjoy your company. I wish you were all real.
Feel free to wake up anytime and spirit your company.
I think that's just the right mix of kooky crazy, but still lucid and understanding. Though the female savant one, I do think adds the right amount of classic damaged mage.
You should be more careful with those stray thoughts. I might get offended. Please, sibling, have some professional courtesy. Efficient, Psyker. I grant you that. It's called skill, Zealot.
Finally, the Ogren is just great. It's perfect. Most people go with the angry, like, bottom 8 Xenos one, and I couldn't be happier. All 3 versions are wonderful. They all have good voice lines, but just, I love that one a lot. It's so fun. It's so, like, dorky and just having a good time, Ogren, man. I'll keep this short, because the Ogren wouldn't understand me anyway. Good job, big man. The supporting cast is the only group I feel could use a bit more oomph with them. Sergeant Major Moro guy, he's pretty on point. I think he does quite well, but Explicator Zola and the pilot feel not bad, just there. They're there to serve their function and not much more. And I think they could use a bit more oomph in some of their delivery. I like Hadron a lot, though, despite the fact that she has this like gilf energy to her, I maybe would have preferred her a bit more robotic and a bit more talking like this
I like her sassy
kind of way. But then we wouldn't get the sass, and I like the sass.
All this for a few layman Russes. Doesn't seem worth it.
Atonement war is harder, better, good, gooder. Am I saying that right? Do you understand?
Still, the main ensemble of characters is really damn good, and a combination of all 4, I think, is the best group. You know, it kind of makes me think of Ed and Eddie. You know, I mean, that's only 3, but like Ed is the ogre,
The show was so
and
great.
Double D is the psyker, and Eddie is the guardsman. Throw a zealot in there, and you've got Cartoon Network's best show. Their best show. I will not hear otherwise. Who would win, the Chaos Gods or Ed with a rock in his shoe? Okay,
He would.
music.
Ed.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Music is like, it's not an S tier as voice acting, but I think it's like Still 10 out of 10.
Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
So 40K is quite gothic as a setting, but since it's a gothic sci-fi hybrid, soundtracks need to fuse that old with the new. Normally they do this by mixing organ music with either a more modern beat or electronic instruments. Warhammer music varies, but it often has to feel like it's a tale being told. For example, in Dawn of War 2, the Space Marines had a triumphant, heroic theme that really expressed the feeling of like a victorious saga being told.
Oh yeah, this is good. Even though, like, personally, Dawn of War, the first part is my favorite. Like, I don't really like second or third one. But second is alright. But first one is better.
Whereas something like Mechanicus is a bit more inquisitive, you know? Still classic, so to speak, but they basically got gothic dubstep.
Nah, this is fire. Well, for Mechanicus game.
And then there's the orcs. Darktide
Football.
decided to go the organ route, though it seems like it's more like organ club music, like the kind of music you'd expect to hear in a big city that is also heavily gothic, at least during its combat themes, which are excellent.
Oh yeah. Is he gonna play the boss music? Damn, I like this one. This is like the only one what I like. I don't know. It feels like I'm in an aquarium.
Mr. Jesper Kid has done an enviable job creating not only great soundtracks that are good on their own, but also fit in universe. A ton of choir, mixed with the organs, mixed with the strings, and great inserts of electronic combinations add a ton to it. It's a rarity that you can take the theme, like Night Strider, which is played in the Psyker character trailer, and have it fit in a 40K game, despite it feeling like a badass 8-bit remix theme.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna hear this song. I feel like I'm always like in an aquarium for no reason. But it's good.
Being able to fit that kind of soundtrack in this game is a testament. It hits all the right beats.
No,
one
it fits,
after the
it fits.
other. They even found a way to sneak in the Skaven fiddle in just a little bit of the background of the main theme, which is also a banger.
Oh. That's
the only
cool.
tracks I'm not huge on are probably the ones where an abomination is present, especially the Beast of Nurgle one. It's a bit grating on the ears on the higher difficulties, which take a ton of time to kill the damn thing.
Yeah,
but
it's
then on the other side of
unpleasant.
the spectrum, that boss music though.
Oh yeah.
Now, there's a bit
He cut out the best part.
of an honorable mention for sound design in this game,
No.
which doesn't play a big part in it. But I don't include it much because what one company thinks a lasgun sounds like can be wildly different than what another company thinks it does. And both often sound good, but there is no dedicated lasgun sound.
I think the lasguns sound perfect.
So, you know, it's kind of hard to rate sound effects in a 40K game, as long as they sound good, because, I mean, don't worry, they sound fine.
No, it sounds
Lastly,
amazing.
but not least, we can talk about power scaling.
Now this is that I gave 4 out of 10. And again, I've already explained, because I don't feel like I'm playing like a regular guardsman. I feel like I'm playing like over the top, next level, full basically everything guardsman.
9,000!
Power scaling is very important. The level of power from something like an Orc Grot to a Guardsman to an Eldar Ranger, then a Space Marine, then a Necron Destroyer, then a Chaos Possessed, then a Custodian, and we haven't even talked vehicles or demons yet. Like the
I'm crazy to think, but I think Destroyer or Chaos Possessed would body Custodian, or am I crazy to think of that?
Differences from low to high are ludicrous, and then you have to deal with who's writing the book or game, and that takes a lot of effort to get properly correct. As far as this game is concerned, I think the amount of restraint should be commended. Some things are not perfectly in tune with the lore, mainly the influence of Nurgle. I mean, the mere existence of us in this hive city, we should be firing out of both ends. But considering our characters, the enemies we fight on an individual level, it's pretty accurate. The issue comes from which character you play. Like, the veteran and zealot are the weakest in universe. Yet it's completely accurate, somewhat at least, to take on a bunch of poxwalkers or guardsmen and come out the victor. Hell, even some of the specials, that's completely fine. If we are to assume that our reject is, special, main character special, then for the most part, the things we fight, the regular enemies, totally okay. Where things get a bit tougher is when we start dealing with the higher level enemies, like the mutants and especially the abominations, like the Plague Ogre and the Beasts of Nurgle.
Yeah, I think like that should be able to kill us. Like, there's no way 4 of us get to kill it. Or
there, our Ogre and Psyker friend come in handy. Psykers are weird, though, in a sense, because they can either be insane wizards with unimaginable power, or completely uncontrollable madmen. In fact, they can easily be a detriment to your team. In game, if they perils, they explode and get downed. In universe, if they perils, then a beast of Nurgle grows out of their body and kills us all. But that's a game.
Dude, if that would happen in game, I already see how someone would just vote Psyker, intentionally become this thing and just leave the match. It would happen like every second game. People would probably create like the scripts, the same ones they use in like TF2 with those snipers.
And I don't mind that at all. Still, the mere capability of one on the team ups our survival rating a decent amount. And the Ogren, oh my god, even more so. And Ogren is just gargantuan. They could probably beat up some Space Marines in a 1v1 fight. Like, no guns, no weapons, like just like 2 people in the ring. I'd say they could probably do it. It's a little bit like a David and Goliath. Calling a Space Marine David. It's a bit of a David and Goliath thing, but they are large enough to do so. The thing is, in actual lore, Space Marines are too smart. They'll kill them from a distance, and they'll have knives and stuff, so there is that. But even so, I'm going on a tangent. The Ogren ups us massively. The power of an Ogren, the actual genuine strength of an Ogren should not be underestimated. They will rip you in half like a wishbone. They are gigantic. As far as the enemies go, the Beast of Nurgle is a really weird creature to exist, though. It's straight up a demonic entity, which cannot exist on its own. See, in 40k, demons don't have, like,
that's gonna be some wardrobe
form in real space. They can only exist in the warp. So in order for a demon to exist here, there has to be some level of rip in the real space that feeds it life. Or I guess it could have possessed something, sure, but that seems a bit less likely considering that we also have the Plague Ogren, which was possessed, obviously. But if I'm correct in this theory, it means somewhere, something in Tertium is feeding warp energy into real space. And that's a massive fucking problem that may or may not be dealt with in the future. I don't remember there being a mention of it, so that's just where my conclusion lies. However, I'm glad that Fat Shark showed restraint and didn't jerk us off too hard with how strong we are. The boss enemies in this game are often just like captains with plasma pistols and refractor field generators. 2, granted, extremely powerful pieces of equipment that often like company commanders in the guard will carry. So it's absolutely in line that a strong ass captain who serves chaos with good ass gear can serve as the game's boss fight. Now, some people ask, would a single Space Marine
No, Space Marine would wipe us that, like, wipe the floor with
work as
us.
a final boss? One Space Marine, like a final boss. And to that I say, the tiniest maybe. If there was a Space Marine, it would be a Death Guard, most likely. Death Guard are slow, but they're still Marines. And if he is equipped with a bolter, then the damage he would dish out would be unrecoverable. He would take us all out pretty quick. Also, being in a square mile of a Death Guard Marine often comes with an ungodly amount of disease and probably in-game debuffs with it too. If anything, the best boss fight would be hide and seek. The only thing that would give us a chance is the Ogren and the Psyker. Warp power could definitely do damage, and the Ogren is still very, very strong. I suppose certain weapons like the Thunder Hammer and Plasma Gun would be pretty handy too, but it's still a little iffy. I would be okay with it if it was something ridiculous, like a level 5 mission where you had to play through the mission, do a boss fight against him, he gets away, more mission.
Just like that. You fight, he runs, you fight, he fights, like that.
Fight again,
whole
different
mission.
weapon, let's say, gets away, then boss fight again, final boss fight, like a 3-stage boss fight. You know, you go mission, fight, mission, fight, mission, fight. I'm having an Ogren moment. Something like that. Like, it needs to be really goddamn hard. It has to be a spectacle, or else it loses its scaling purposes. But for now, here, tough-ass dude with a plasma pistol and a refractor shield, perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for.
No, I think
but
it's
at the end of the
fine.
day, right, combining these things together, art direction, voice acting, music, and power scaling, Warhammer is an extremely hard medium to adapt properly. It takes a lot of the standard sci-fi conventions and outright says, no, do the opposite. Complete removal of tolerance, no AI whatsoever. It's taking what was a prosperous sci-fi universe and then giving it 10,000 years of degradation into ignorance.
But
And
that's why I
then
like it.
make them proud of it. For all the difficulties, I think Darktide gets a solid A on it. If there was a game to show someone and say,
Yeah, if I had to rate Darktide, like, I would give it 8 out of 10, like.
this is as close as I can get to explaining what Warhammer 40k is like, at least from the human point of view, it's this one. My hat is tipped to all the artists, designers, voice actors, and musicians
This
that
guy
came together
deserved
to
it.
make it possible, to make this world feel the way it does. Still plenty of hat tipping to the other devs too, but for this kind of thing, extra hat tipping, triple the tip. It could not have been easy, but I believe it has paid off. If you'd like to jump into it, it is in the description. Check it out. It's not a perfect game. Some things I will discuss more about in a future video, but it is still a damn fun one.
No, it's
And
a
I have
good game.
Thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. T-shirt and jeans or sweater and khakis? I live in California, so t-shirt and jeans. What is a meme format / template do you wish?
We shall
meme?
skip a little bit.
Amazing, and I want to do like an hour-and-a-half long video talking about it one day. I will see you next video. I don't know when it'll be out, maybe not super soon, but soon enough. Maybe. I lie to myself a lot.
Well, on that note, as always, thank you, Bricky, for this amazing video. As always, original video is in the description. Please click it and leave a like there. Yeah, I basically agree with, basically I would say like 90% what he said. Maybe we differ a little bit with power scaling, you know. I think his idea with Nurgle Space Marine would be extremely dope, but I still think he would wipe the floor with us. Maybe we could get to fight some not super big, but some other kind of Nurgle demon, you know, who is smaller, who is not big. Yeah. I'm just looking at Bricky, how happy he is, and smiling. You know what? I generally have nothing to add, so on this note, thank you guys for your time. Wish you all the best. Ciao, cacao.